Most dog owners believe they know whether their dog loves them. They see a wagging tail, an excited greeting, or a dog following them into the kitchen and assume the bond must be strong. But dogs can get excited about food, walks, attention, and familiar routines with almost anyone. The real signs of a deeply secure bond are much quieter. They appear when your dog is uncertain, when nobody is giving a command, and when there is no treat in your hand. Researchers studying canine attachment describe trusted owners as both a safe haven and a secure base, someone the dog turns to for reassurance, but also someone whose presence makes the dog confident enough to explore. And one of the strongest signs is often misunderstood as your dog becoming less attached to you. We'll get to that one at the end. But first, let's begin with a behavior many owners barely notice. Number 1. Your dog checks in with you without being called. Picture yourself on a walk. Your dog is a few steps ahead, absorbed in a smell. Then, without hearing their name, they briefly turn around. Maybe they make eye contact for half a second. Maybe they slow down until you get closer. Then they return to exploring. That tiny glance matters because it is voluntary. You didn't pull the leash, offer food, or ask for attention. Your dog chose to make sure the connection was still there. Studies of dog-human movement have found that dogs often synchronize their location and pace with familiar people. They stay near them, move when they move, and adjust their speed as they travel together. Breed, training, age, and personality can affect how often a dog looks back. But repeated, relaxed check-ins suggest something meaningful. Your dog is not only being controlled by you, they are coordinating with you. A good owner encourages this without demanding constant attention. They allow sniffing and exploration, reward voluntary check-ins, and avoid making every return mean that the fun is over. The dog learns, I can explore, but staying connected to you is still worth choosing. And that leads to the second sign, which appears when the world suddenly feels strange. Number 2. Your dog looks to you when they are unsure. A plastic bag blows across the sidewalk. A strange statue appears outside a building. A new appliance makes an unfamiliar noise. Your dog notices it, pauses, and looks at you. Sometimes they look back and forth between you and the object, almost as if they are asking a question. Researchers call this social referencing. Experiments involving unfamiliar or potentially frightening objects have shown that dogs use emotional information from people to help decide how to respond. Their behavior can be influenced especially strongly by their owner's reaction. Your dog may not be asking, "What is that?" They may be asking, "How are we handling this?" That is a major responsibility because your response becomes part of the information your dog uses. If you drag them toward the object, punish hesitation, or laugh while they are frightened, you may teach them that uncertainty leads to conflict. A trustworthy owner remains calm, creates enough distance for the dog to think, allows investigation without force, and rewards calm curiosity. When your dog looks to you in an uncertain moment, they are letting your reaction influence their decision. That isn't blind obedience. It is confidence in your judgment. But the next sign goes further, because your dog isn't only reading your reaction, they are actively communicating with you. Number 3. Your dog asks you for help. You have probably seen this with a toy under the sofa. First, your dog paws at it. Then they push their nose underneath, try another angle, let out a dramatic sigh, and finally look directly at you. Then they look at the toy, then back at you. Scientists often call this gaze alternation. In unsolvable task studies, dogs first receive a problem they can solve, such as accessing food from a container. Then the problem is secretly made impossible. When dogs realize they cannot solve it alone, many switch their gaze between the blocked reward and a nearby person. Researchers are careful not to claim that every look is literally a request for help. Human-directed gazing is affected by context, experience, and breed tendencies. But evidence supports the idea that dogs often use gaze as a social problem-solving strategy. In simple terms, your dog has learned that you can be recruited into the problem. A dog who expects yelling may keep their distance. A dog who expects everything to be taken away may guard the object. But a dog who repeatedly experiences cooperation may come to you and communicate. The best response is not to solve every challenge instantly. Give your dog a fair chance, let them think, and then help before frustration becomes distress. That teaches two lessons at once. You are capable, and you do not have to face everything alone. Number 4. Your dog chooses soft eye contact. The word soft is important. This is not a frozen stare, a stiff body, or a dog looking uncomfortable. It is voluntary eye contact with relaxed facial muscles, normal blinking, and loose body language. Your dog may glance at you while resting, look into your eyes before bringing you a toy, or look up during a calm walk, even when you haven't said their name. A well-known 2015 study led by researcher Miho Nagasawa found that longer mutual gazing between dogs and their owners was associated with changes in oxytocin, a hormone involved in social bonding. The researchers described a positive feedback loop in which dog-to-owner gaze encouraged affectionate interaction. That doesn't mean you should hold your dog's face and stare into their eyes to test whether they love you. Forced eye contact removes the most important part: choice. Some dogs, especially nervous dogs or dogs with difficult past experiences, may find direct staring uncomfortable. The meaningful sign is that your dog initiates the contact and remains relaxed. That quiet look may represent hundreds of previous interactions, times you listened, rewarded them fairly, and stayed predictable instead of becoming frightening. The history of the relationship can appear for a moment in your dog's face. And if you think an excited greeting is the greatest proof of attachment, the next sign may surprise you. Number 5. Your dog reconnects with you and then calms down. When you return home, your dog may approach quickly, wag, lean into you, bring a toy, or ask for physical contact. That reunion is meaningful. Attachment studies show that dogs often seek more proximity and contact with their owners than with unfamiliar people. But the greeting is only half of the sign. The second half is recovery. After reconnecting, a securely attached dog is often able to settle, explore, lie down, or return to a normal activity. Your presence helps restore stability. This matters because extreme distress is not proof of stronger love. A dog who destroys doors, drools heavily, vocalizes constantly, attempts to escape, or cannot function when left alone may be experiencing separation-related distress. That dog needs support, not punishment, and possibly help from a veterinarian or qualified behavior professional. A great owner does not need their dog to panic in order to feel important. The healthier sign is joyful connection followed by emotional recovery. And now we reach the final sign, the one many people completely misunderstand. Your dog feels safe enough to walk away from you. They choose the other end of the sofa. They go into another room to sleep. At the park, they explore instead of remaining attached to your leg. In a new place, they check where you are and then begin investigating. Some owners see this and think, "My dog doesn't need me anymore. Maybe our bond is weaker." But research on the secure base effect suggests almost the opposite. In problem-solving studies, dogs often engage more confidently with a task when their owner is present. In some experiments, the owner did not need to speak, touch the dog, or actively help. Their presence alone changed what the dog felt comfortable doing. That is what a secure base provides. Not permanent closeness, but confidence. Your dog can walk away because experience tells them you will still be there. They can sleep without monitoring your every movement because your behavior is predictable. They can explore because they know how to find you again when something becomes confusing. This is the paradox of a truly strong bond. Sometimes the greatest proof that your dog trusts you is not that they cling to you. It is that they don't have to. Of course, no single behavior proves someone is a perfect owner. Dogs are shaped by genetics, breed tendencies, age, health, early socialization, training, and previous experiences. A rescued dog may trust you deeply while still struggling to relax. An independent dog may show attachment differently from a highly people-focused breed. So don't use these signs to judge your dog. Use them to think about the environment you are creating. Are you consistent without being harsh? Do you notice fear before it becomes panic? Do you reward communication instead of punishing it? Do you provide structure while still allowing safe choices? Because the deepest sign of a great owner is not a dog who obeys every command. It is a dog who feels safe enough to communicate, confident enough to explore, and certain enough to return to you.